What is going on YouTube? It's King Game 29 here. I'm bringing you guys a new deck profile, and this is a Fluffal deck profile. And I really love this deck. It's pretty consistent. It can do a lot of things, combos. It can OTK a lot through a lot of different ways. And I'm pretty passionate about this deck, as you can see with the mat and stuff. And I really think it's a top deck. Like, it's not like tier 0 with like Zodiacs and Invoked and stuff like that, but it's up there. I say tier 1 or 1.5. It's very, very viable with the new stuff, and it just gets even better when Patchwork comes out and there's more support coming out. So look forward to more Fluffle support and probably another deck profile when that stuff does come out. But in the meantime, this is what we have, and it's pretty decent. So let's get right into the deck profile. So we got 3 Fluffal Penguin. So this is kind of my personal build and mixed with some other builds I've seen. But 3 Penguin. Penguin's pretty good. He is a level 4. When you normal summon him, you can special summon another Fluffal from your hand. This is just during your main phase. And then when you fuse with him, you can draw 2 cards and discard 1. So he draws, he's 1600, sorry about that, and he's a water. And that's kind of important. We'll get to that later. I'm sure you guys know why. But level 4 Fluffal, draw 2, discard 1, and he can special summon more guys. So he's probably one of the best in my opinion. Next we have the 3 Dog. Dog's really cool. He's another searcher. He searches for any Fluffal or Edgem Savers, specifically Edgem Savers. He's 1700, so that's not too bad either. And he gets that effect when he's normal or special summoned, so he can get it off a toy vendor, he can get it off a penguin. So that's pretty good. Next we have 3 Mouse. I know a lot of people don't play Mouse, but with this you can set up an OTK pretty easily. All you need to do is open 1 Mouse and special summon the other 2, and it's pretty free. You have 3 guys, and all you need is a Poly or a Sabers, and you basically win the game. Next, 3 Chain. He's the best Edgem. He's a free search for any Freight for card in your deck, and then when you attack with him, you also get to add another copy of him to your hand. So that's pretty versatile, and he's another level 4, so you can make some rank 4 plays if you want to. But mainly you're going to go for fusions. Next we have 2 Sabers. Sabers is basically Plague Spreader Zombie. Don't really need to go over that. He's level 3. I remember way back in the day, some people used to play Tour Guide to get this guy out too, but regardless, that was back in the day. So he's one of your main guys you want to search for, and you're going to need him for 90% of your fusions, I think. He's probably the best one that you're going to need. Next we have 2 Owl. Owl is your Poly. You can pay 500 and his effect becomes Poly. You can just fusion. Or when you normal or special him, you get to add a Poly from your deck to your hand. So it's not too bad. And plus he's 1,000, so he's decent. Next we have 2 Fluffal Octopus. He's another new one. He's pretty good. When he's also normal or special summon, you get to target a Fluffal or Edgem in your grave, and then you add it to your hand. So that can be useful when you have like just random stuff and you're able to special summon this guy, and then you need another normal summon or something. And then when you fuse with this guy, you get to add 2 of your banished cards back to your graveyard, which is incredibly helpful and can open up a lot more plays. Next, we got 2 Bear. Bear is pretty consistent. He searches for your toy vendor, and then toy vendor opens a lot more plays. And then you can tribute this guy and add Poly, but no one ever uses that effect. It's pretty random. But Bear, you're mainly going to get him for the toy vendor. Next, we have 2 Wings to go with the 2 Bear. So when you have toy vendor on the field, you get to banish this and another card to draw a card. Then you can destroy toy vendor to draw another and then search. So it's basically an instant plus. You're just going to banish this and Bear. That's the combo basically, and it's pretty broken. And you deck thin so fast in this deck. King of the Swamp is pretty self-explanatory. You get to Poly, and then he counts as any substitute for a fusion. So you count him as Sabers or Edgem Chain or anything you want really. It's pretty broken. Next we have the 1 Cat. Cat is the last monster in the deck. Some people play Rabbit, some people play whatever, but Cat is really good. You get to add Poly back, and it opens multiple fusion plays. I think I fused like 4 or 5 times in one turn because of Cat, so that's really, really versatile and can help you OTK. The whole purpose of this deck is I want to OTK and just move on to the next. I don't want to deal with the bullshit D barriers and all that. I just want to go for the kill and move on to the next opponent. It's pretty, deck's pretty 50-50, I guess, with that, but I've won locals here, I've lost locals there, but it's pretty consistent in my opinion. Back to the deck profile here, we got 3 poly, starting with the spells. Your main go-to card, you're going to want to be fusing mostly almost every turn. We got 3 Toy Vendor. This is another main card that you're going to search with Bear, and you're going to discard a card and draw 1 card, and if it's a Fluffal, you get to special summon any monster from your hand, which is really important. It's not just any Fluffal. And then, if this card is destroyed, you get to add a Fluffal or Edge Sabers from your deck to your hand. So, a lot of versatility with the Fluffal wings and some of the other cards in your deck. You're going to mainly want to be going through these a lot. And then we have the 3 Miracle Fusion of the deck. You get to banish cards and just fuse from the graveyard, which is just absolutely broken. Plus, it's searchable off of Edge Chain. Why wouldn't you play this at 3? Next, some of the generic stuff. We got 2 Twin Twister. Self-explanatory. This deck doesn't want to deal with back row. Like I said, you just want to kill your opponent and move on to the next opponent. Like, it's pretty simple. I'm not trying to make a control deck. I'm trying to make an OTK deck here. We got 2 Dark Hole, board wipes, play more if I needed. 1 Regeki, self-explanatory. And then 1 Fright for Factory. Another searchable card off of the, whatchamacall, the Edge Sabers. Or not Edge Sabers, Edge Chain. A little tired, sorry guys. But basically you get to banish a fusion or polymerization in your graveyard, and then you can fuse another time with this card. So it's pretty good, and it's a one-of. You don't really want to see this card ever in your hand unless like you absolutely need it. You want to search it off of Edge of Chain. So that's it. That's the 40 card main deck, and then we're going to go off to the extra deck here. We got 3 Tiger. He's one of your main guys. He's a board wipe. For each fusion material, you get to destroy a card, and then for every Fluffal / Frightfur monster on the field, every Frightfur card gains 300 attack for each one. So, very, very good. That's why you play the Fluffal Mouse, to just get those fusion materials to board wipe like 4 cards, and then you're going to Frightfur Fuse for the Wolf, and then just attack 4 times, and it's pretty ridiculous. Next, there's Kraken. 2 Kraken, he's the new one. He's basically Dante the Burning Abyss. He can attack twice, and then at the end of the battle phase, he turns to defense. And then once a turn, you can target a card, a monster card, and then just send it to the graveyard. It doesn't destroy or anything. So that's really good, and it's 2200. Attack twice. There's an OTK with Sabers now, Sabertooth with Frightfur Kraken, so that's really interesting. Speaking of Sabertooth, we got 2 Sabertooth. He is 1 Frightfur monster plus any Fluffal or Edgem, and then when you fuse 3 of him, he becomes he can't be destroyed by card effects or destroyed by battle. So that's like incredibly good. A lot of people have to kaiju this guy, and then once he's fusion summoned, you get to reborn a Frightfur monster from your graveyard. So basically, you're gonna like send a monster with Kraken. Use this to bring back the Kraken that can still attack twice, that is also plus 400 because he also gives 400 to all your Frightfur monsters, including himself. So it's really, really good. You play 2 of it. Next you play 2 Sheep. Sheep is basically Utopia, the lightning. Once you attack, you can't activate anything until end of damage step. And then if this is destroyed by your opponent's card effect or by battle, it comes back with 800 more, so it reborns itself, and they can't do anything when you attack with it, so it's really, really interesting. Next we have the 2 Frightfur Wolf. This is the monster that is kind of like the Frightfur Tiger. For the amount of fusion materials you use, it can attack that many times, and he's basically your main OTK guy. He's 2000 attack and all you need is 4, and then that's the OTK. Next, we have 2 1-1. We have Fright for Bear and Fright for Chimera. You're not really going to go into these unless like you have like no cards in your hand, you've blown through a lot of your fusions already, and you're dying, or you really think this is a good situation to go in, or you've gone way through many fusions to not make anything else, and you can make this thing. So basically, this thing is the same thing as the Fright for Sheep. Can't do anything, and then when it destroys a monster by battle, you take it, and then this card gains 300 attack for each monster you took control of. So he's kind of like Goyo and Fright for Sheep mixed together. Very, very interesting. Takes 3 Fright for monsters to fuse with, so that's why I'm saying, like, if you have nothing else and you top deck a Fright for Fusion, you might want to go into that guy. And then Fright for Bear, when he destroys a monster, you can equip it to him, and then he gains 1,000. So he can be really hard to get over once he has all these equips to him. And he's just an interesting card, and another like one of that you can go into. Then the last 2 cards are obviously Bahamut Toad. You have access to it, and like why wouldn't you play it? It's a pretty ridiculous combo, and if you do go first, they make you go first. You're probably gonna want to try and go for this play. This deck is really shitty going first, but if you're able to set up some stuff and like negate some of their actions next turn, then possibly you'll have a chance to survive and just OTK them the next turn. So that's it. That was the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave some suggestions in the comments below if you feel so inclined. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and see you guys in the future. Peace.